Welcome back to the Connect Realty podcast, episode
16?
16. You guys are better keeping the count than me. I always mess it up. I always forget which number on. But yeah, cool day for us today. We have a special guest. We have Russ in the building from Human Catalyst. I won't do the introduction. I'll let you introduce yourself.
My name is Russ. I have a clothing brand called Human Catalyst. I'm from Chula Vista, California. I've been running my brand for 12 years now. But I have a small shop over on 3rd Avenue in the downtown district. And this is my 8th year there. And I met these Connect guys over there doing things for the city. And I'm honored to be here. But yeah, that's my quick little blurb background.
No, that's awesome. And we're honored to have you here. We're all big fans of, your gear. And I think your mission, I went back and rewatched your YouTube videos this morning while I was at the gym, and I was just like, man, this guy's such a great storyteller. And we've been wanting to do like some collaboration stuff, for a while.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is just the beginning of, starting to do some more stuff together. But yeah, I mean, what we do on here, we talk about real estate and like the market and kind of what's going on. But we want to we're always involved with the community, but we want to bring on, more small businesses, people that are, local and people that we fuck with, right? Like people that we get down with. And I think you were the perfect first guest to have on. It's our honor for you to come on here. You have like a lot more following than we do, and you've been in the game for a lot longer, right? So
Well, because I'm an old guy. I'm an old man who's a dreamer,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I guess to start, like, are you a homeowner?
Yeah, I'm a homeowner, and I ended up getting lucky. We bought a house, what was that? We bought a condo back when everything was like foreclosures everywhere. We got this small little condo in Rancho Del Rey, which is in Chula Vista,
Mm-hmm.
and it was abandoned. It was a foreclosure, and it became like a teen hangout, and it was pretty messed up. But we got our way in, and that was a time when like you could buy homes for like 200,000, and that's like unheard of now. But there was once a time when there were a lot of homes in Chula Vista for 200 grand, and we ended up getting a condo, and that's how I got my start. And then we ended up selling it, got a house. I have a son who's disabled, and he's nonverbal and he can't walk. And our condo was small, and it was 2-story. And I remember I used to have to carry him up the stairs, like bring the wheelchair in, disconnect everything, and then carry him up the stairs. And
You just got tired of that.
no, just as he got bigger, and one day when I was coming downstairs with him, I almost fell. And then from that point, my wife was like, we need to get a house.
Yeah.
And gradually, we've just kind of stepped up because he keeps on getting bigger. So our footprint needs to be a little bigger. As you become more of an adult, you have bigger wheelchairs, bigger hallways, bathroom needs, things you'd never even thought of. And luckily, we're down over by Hilltop now, and we got 1-story. Should be good for many years, and yeah, definitely blessed in that avenue.
Awesome. So I would say you're a believer in home ownership then, right? Like you've seen your progression, kind of growth, been able to use some equity.
Well, now I am, but honestly, I wasn't.
Right.
So like, from the time, what was I, 18? No, maybe a little older. No, I had to have been like 22 maybe, and then I was a renter. My brother bought a house in Temecula, and I moved up there with him. That was very difficult living with him and his new wife, and I just knew not that I wasn't welcome there, but I wasn't really welcome there. So I ended up renting, and I ended up renting forever. And then I moved back to San Diego, rented again, and I never thought of home ownership. I didn't know I could. Then I met my wife. My wife used to be a loan officer, and she understood real estate. and her dad was a broker when everyone and their mother tried to do real estate. Back when the homes were booming.
Yeah, 2007, 2008.
Probably they were in that era where like everyone you knew had a real estate card and.
Almost like how it was last year, right? Up to like last year.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a post-COVID.
Post-COVID.
Post-COVID, yeah.
And I'm sure it was similar to what it was back then too.
Yeah, I mean, when people see a gold rush or people like starting to make a bunch of money, then everybody wants to jump into that. And we definitely had like a resurgence, I would say, of real estate agents. This last year and a half has made all of them go somewhere else. Like literally they're falling off the face of the earth right now, and we're sticking around. So
well, I think that's how it is, right? I mean, people see the end, so they see like they sell a house. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Like I sold my house, I was like, this is how much like they get. I only saw this lady twice, you know what I mean? Like, but there's a lot to it in the back end. But, it's a crazy process, the whole home purchasing thing. There's just a lot of little pieces to it. It's pretty stressful, but, yeah, it's amazing because as a renter, I calculate how much I spent on rent, and it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
So on that note about, when you looked at it and you said that's how much someone, makes doing this, I feel like here we're, at Connect, we're a good team that never wants to make somebody feel that way. We always want to make somebody feel after we've worked with them that
we earned it.
Yeah, that was well deserved. It was well earned. We were well represented. They looked out for my best interest, and I would gladly do it again with them. And we never want anyone to walk away feeling slimy after meeting with us or talking with us.
Yeah, I can
especially in
imagine.
a transaction. Yeah.
Also, I think I would say we take a different approach, right? Where we're trying to break down the barriers, right? We're not just, hey, buy a house and like, you're another transaction, right? We're trying to make relationships that last a lifetime with people, right? So, in your case, did you use the same agent every time you bought and sold?
Well, my father-in-law still holds a broker license, so he did a lot of the transactions, and then, but during the time, well, see, I don't even know everything, but back when we first got our condo, like things were crazy where you would try to get a house and you couldn't do it.
You had to work directly with the banks.
Yeah, and they would tell you to get approved and all this stuff, but then somehow if you use the listing agent as your agent, somehow you just move your way to the top of a foreclosure and everything. And
with the REOs.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, we got connections. We talk to the bank every week, and and it's like, oh, somehow they accepted us, and so that's what we had to do for our first one. And it's crazy though. Just I guess it's pretty cutthroat for real estate, and it is all relational and how you make people feel. My first agent, I mean, she was cool, but it was such a big deal for me as a first time home buyer that I kind of thought there would be, I don't know, a box of candy or something like anything.
Thank you.
And she was like, all right, peace.
Here's your keys and bye.
I'm out in my Hummer. You know what I mean? And that was kind of a bummer, but I mean, I don't really know how it is, but I just know I've met a lot of agents and I know how hard it is. I know that, especially with especially with the prices now and just how much is on the line for people to go and try to get a house. That's tough,
Yeah. I think that's the point that we want to make is that we definitely don't try to be that person that's just like peace out and you never see us again. Real estate is hard, right? Especially when there's a lot of agents that are doing it part-time or and I think going back to like outside of real estate, just anything that you're trying to do in life can be hard, right? And you've been doing your business for 12 years, you said, right? 12?
Yeah, and
12 years, 8 years on the block as a brick and mortar, right? One of the videos I watched this morning is one of the recent ones you put out. You're talking about, maybe it's not your time, right? And your time will come, but you have to keep trying at something, right? I think one of the things that we're constantly doing in here is working. And a lot of our work that we've been putting in for the last year and a half, because we're new, Connect's new, right? We're only been around 2 years, right? So all of this is, we're still, I'm not a new agent, been doing real estate for 9 years, but like all of this at Connect is new for us. Carlos is brand new into the game, right? 6 months in. And Javi came on and he's helping out in every way. But like we're seeing a lot of the work that we've been putting in start to pay off now, right? You feel kind of like that's how it is for you, like you caught a wave, or
I just feel like from the time that I started, times have changed so much, and the adaptation to the times is pretty hard. So like I think one of the biggest connections with you guys is that the social media part of everything, like we're all connected because that's just how everyone has to market, and that's a lot different for me. I never wanted to be in front of the camera. I never wanted to talk. Nobody wanted to hear my voice or anything like that.
Really? I feel like you come off completely different. Like you come off like a complete storyteller. Like your videos are really good.
No, I appreciate
you're good
that.
at talking and like getting your point across. Almost like Anthony Bourdain.
I see it.
I think the thing was, I got to a certain point in my life where like I had no choice but to try. I think a lot of times if you have it's like if you're trying to sell homes, but you come from like a lineage where your family's going to take care of you forever, your hustle's probably not going to be as hard, and for me, this was like a dream I had, and if I fail, like it's all on me. And I just saw that like me hiding in the shadows, like I wasn't making any progress, and I saw like new brands start, and then they video and do audio and do all this stuff, podcasts, whatever, and like they're making noise, and then I'm just sitting on my couch kind of talking crap, just like, man, they suck, but you're just on your couch. Like, what are you doing? So
you got to do the work too.
I just got to a point where it's like, if I don't put myself out there, like all I can do is fail. And at least if I try and I fail, like at least I gave myself a chance, and I just got to a point where like, you just don't care anymore. And I don't know if that comes with age or it just comes with time, but there just becomes a certain point where it's like
wisdom.
Nah, like you just want to get out of your rut, I guess it's like even with the living situation, it's like, you come from a hard living condition, you're gonna find a way to buy a house, and if
you have to adapt to make things work for your son or
yeah. So like, my wife is more of like the go-getter personality, and but for me, it's taken me years to like get out of my own way, and that's all I'm trying to do right now. I wouldn't say that like I'm good at it. I just constantly keep on failing and just get better a little bit at a time,
That's awesome.
Do you personally think like the confidence to take that leap came from one day to another, or was it like a gradual thing?
Yeah, like when did the light switch in your head? It was like 12 years, 8 years in the shop. Like at what point where you're like, I got to do better?
Well, it's kind of hard, like with my brand, it started on the internet, and I portrayed this picture that I was like much bigger than I really was, and that was kind of the goal everyone had. And then I think when like craft brew and things like that happened, everyone's like, craft, so like what does that look like? And it's like, hey, I craft, I make, I screen print all my shirts and do all this stuff. So I started showing little clips of me printing, and still nothing with my voice or anything, and even then, I didn't want to show that because I wanted people to think like I was in a giant factory, or,
Importing all these shirts.
Yeah, just like pull up in a Ferrari, and like the reality is, I drive a Dodge Caravan. Got a broken down Mercedes, like, But during the time, like, I wanted to paint a picture that I was much better than I was, and I think the good thing is like, there was a little shift where the reality was more acceptable. And And now we're kind of in a weird place, but you know, I guess the confidence just comes from like, you know, I guess going back, like, I got a friend, he has a shop, and then he was asking me how much I sell my shirts for. And I said, dude, I'm having a really hard time. Like, it's hard to sell my stuff. And he said, why don't you, like, raise the prices? Because if you're not selling them now, like, what's it going to matter if you're not selling them for more, you know? And even though that had to do with price, like, I just had the thought, like, if I'm not selling anything, not putting myself out there, like, maybe there's just a sliver of hope by me putting myself out there. Like, maybe I can still ride this out a little longer. But I knew that if I didn't put myself out there, I was doomed. Like, you know, if I didn't focus on the internet, I didn't sit there on IG all day or put videos out, I knew, like, people forget about you faster than...
Because it's in real life, what we're talking about is marketing, right? Like,
Yeah.
like marketing, if you're not doing your Instagram, if you're not doing your social medias, nobody knows who you are, right? And you're trying to paint a picture, tell a story. I would say better, you tell stories really well of what you're about and why people should wear, you know, Human Catalyst, right?
Yeah.
I think that's important, right? Because like right now, we do the same thing, right? We want to educate our buyers in the process of home buying, but we want to make it to where it doesn't come off as a, you know, sales pitch, right? And we want to be authentic. I think we talked about that in our first conversation ever, right? Authenticity is what people crave.
And that's the hardest part about everything. Because at the end of the day, you guys are real estate agents. Your goal is to have people think of buying a home or selling a home, like, you guys are who they think of.
Yeah.
And that's hard because, like, everyone on your little phone in your pocket, we're all chasing after that attention. Exactly. And it's all the same pie. And
it's
we're
like
all fighting.
What's gonna make you stop and watch, you know, a walkthrough video of a house if you have no interest in that, right? Like, you don't care about buying houses or you don't have any money, right? So like, what's gonna make you connect with us? And that's why, you know, like I tell these guys, like, we just have to be real, be authentic, put our real self out there. Maybe even do some comedy every once in a while, like get people engaged, because we're building a community, right? Mm-hmm. Where people thrive and like grasp for connection, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they want. They want to be connected to something. They want to feel involved. They want to be a part of it, right? And if you're not building community and you're just like, hey, buy this house or buy this house, like you're
just a peddler. Like,
exactly. You're just like a one lane.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to mess with you. But when you're doing that, when you're building a community, when you're doing storytelling like you're doing, people are like, I feel like I could feel that. Like, it comes off like the energy or the story. I could relate with that, right? And that's where that connection happens. So then they could go back and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe this guy doesn't sell like 100 houses, but his story is a lot like mine, right? Or maybe, you know, you don't sell to Macy's, right? But I want to go support this guy's brand, right? And I feel like that's what, you know, the whole social media, that's what we're trying to do, is show our authenticity and able to connect with most people as possible, right?
Yeah, and I think you guys do a good job at that. I think, you know, I think the end goal probably for you guys, but for me as well, I guess if someone is thinking of t-shirt or whatever, and
a gift, or
and then maybe for some reason, maybe they can't buy something now, but one day they're going to remember, like, oh, you know? And I think all the internet now is like, and it's kind of unfortunate, but it's just reminders. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but it's hard, you know? Like, if I don't put out something and I go a week, then it's like crickets. But the minute I put out something, it's a reminder on your little phone, like, oh yeah, I forgot that guy existed. Yeah. You know, I remembered last week. So I think with real estate, it's like, maybe I don't need to buy a house or sell a house right now, but wait, who are those guys I always see online? It's like,
you gotta be top of mind.
Let me find them, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to stop you for a second there. Have you seen any of Carlos's content?
Yeah, I have. Like, when he came on, I was tripping out because you could tell he brings that younger TikTok generation. Youthful like edits and everything, but I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
This is not scripted, Carlos, right? Carlos has been going through a mental block in his content creation, so we just want to let him know that people enjoy what he's doing out there because.
No, it's definitely been a great conversation. It's very eye-opening to see it from your perspective.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's kind of taken me, not to say in the literal sense, but it's kind of taken me out of my body and made me see from a different perspective. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's funny, right? Most people don't want to put stuff out there because they feel like they're gonna look stupid.
Or get judged.
Yeah, or get judged. But you know what? What's funny is like when you put something out there, your hope is that it reaches people.
Yeah.
And you come to realize like nobody even saw your content anyway. So
like we make this podcast every week, and I think we have like 4 people who watch it. So
yeah, and you stress out about it, and that's the real bummer. But when you finally learn to just not care, you know, I guess that's freedom. I'm still learning because I still care and I still feel stupid doing stuff and
well, the adaptation too, right? Like it didn't come natural. Whereas Carlos is growing up in a place where like it's right in front of him all the time.
Yeah.
From the minute that he was, I don't know, when you first got your first phone in your hands, right? So like it's more acceptable. I mean, I remember going to high school. I didn't have a iPhone.
No.
They didn't have iPhones. We had Boosts. We had Nextels, right? Like
Nokias,
chirps.
yeah.
We had
The Sidekick.
The Sidekick came out when I was like a senior in high school. So like that's like when texting actually came a thing, because before you would have to press the buttons like 100 times. We had like Blackberries. Like,
For me, we had Pony Express.
oh man.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, like
You had to send letters, right?
yeah,
Writing letters.
I didn't grow up like filming myself or anything. And if I did, during my time, like if you were to put a camera and say like, oh, I'm filming myself, people would be like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But now, you know,
It's a thing. People follow yourself around with cameras or have camera crews.
it's so normal. And I think
Yeah.
for you probably grew up where like, when did you first make your first video? Like,
When I got here, really?
no, like you probably had a phone at home and you're just like,
Nah, I was never really
Really?
the type to.
but you're like an expert at it.
Yeah, bro,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
like I feel like I even told you right when he was making videos because he came by and then I was like, man, your videos are really good. They're funny and like, you know, you're willing to do things that for us like we need to act, but for you guys, I think it just comes normal.
Yeah.
Like you guys have always had pictures taken of you. You guys know what videos are.
And see it. You're used to absorbing it and watching the content. And
Yeah.
like eating it. You know what I mean? So it comes more natural. Whereas us is like we're breaking our head trying to make it funny or something. And I want to just go back to the funny part aspect of it, right? The funny part breaks down the walls, right? Like it makes you connect easier, right? Like seeing Carlos, you don't just see him as this funny guy and you can't take him serious all the time, or do you think he's just like
No, I mean, I think
a jester?
no, I don't think he's a jester. I think like he doesn't have that barrier that we have,
Yeah.
you know, and it just comes natural. I think
The
comes
filter,
natural.
right? It's like a filter. Like we come from a place where like creating content is much more harder, so we have like all of these, like you said, barriers or filters in place where we're like we gotta break those down and able to like kind of uncover what we're trying to put out there. Whereas you're just like boom, raw off the cuff.
Building off that, is there any like one person or handful of people that you model your content after, or I guess since you guys don't necessarily like watch YouTube, I guess you say maybe like movies or some sort of director or something? I don't
Definitely.
know.
For me, you know, I got a friend named Koi-san that's killing it, like absolutely demolishing social media. Like he was on my podcast, and I want to say at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe he had like 2,000 followers or something. Now the guy's at like 365 and 1,000, you know. And at first I was like, man, like Koi-san's like the best kept secret, you know. And then finally he put himself out there. But he shot this one video where it was the first time I saw someone film something where, like, how did they do that? Where in my mind I wasn't figuring it out, but it's like he put the camera down, walked across the street, then had the camera again, and then finally I realized the behind the scenes movie magic is like, damn, that guy shot it 5 times doing the same thing. And from that point I realized like that was so cool. Like that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
We gotta add him.
And,
we gotta get some inspiration.
Koi-san does great work. He did what's the storefront that he did? El Cholo's Kid.
Yeah, El Cholo's
He
Kid.
did something for Romantics, Romantic Coffee.
Yeah. He does a lot of that
Out
stuff.
there.
You gotta check it out.
Yeah, so he's really creative in that sense, and then I also like after going through that, trying to figure out how do I film content and stuff, and then went on YouTube, you know, and then you start coming across these people that are making these like mini movies, and you know,
From their phone too.
you start to find like Casey Neistat and whatever, and then you start getting other videos sent to you, you know what I mean, and I just realized like I really enjoy the cinematics of video, more so than picture, and then to edit something like even the simplest thing. There's this woman on YouTube and she says like how to film yourself, and she like opened a refrigerator, put something in the refrigerator, put the camera in the refrigerator, and you know, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So then, you know, I did something similar. And then it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. Then, you know, I just started paying attention to like videography and
Those editing tricks, like how they
yeah, just
to put them
seeing things
together.
from a different eye, and then you just realize, man, there's so many talented people, and a lot of them are younger, like your age. I think because like, you know,
readily
our,
available like that they
our
have it.
age group, like we rode bicycles and we were out at night. Our parents didn't look for us, like.
I didn't have a laptop, a phone,
No,
nothing. Just gone.
Nothing. And then we were just like
No trackers
delinquents.
on me.
Yeah, we were delinquents. And for you guys, I think like your parents really wanted to know where you were. You were home in your room, and it's like, what can I do? I'm gonna make a comedy show. I'm gonna film my. Well, you guys probably don't even have G.I. Joe's Pokemon cards. I don't know what you do, but you know,
They're
it's like
making
you had to
movies with
create
their
your own
action
world. Yeah,
figures
you
or
had to create your
something.
own world. For us, we didn't have that. I wanted to do videos when I was younger, and then I remember like I don't know if anyone remembers Fry's, but like I went and bought this. I had a VHS or a 8mm camcorder, had these RCA cables, and I bought this like device which was like $100 in 1990 or something, and that would probably be equivalent to like 5,000 today. And then you plug it in, it's like, dude, my computer's not even strong enough to like like film a 10-second video.
Yeah.
So then it's like,
Or you run out of memory. Like.
yeah, and it's like I need more floppy disks or something. And now you don't have that problem. So like, even if I wanted to film a video, there's no way that I could have back in the days. Like my friend used to make videos, and he had two VCRs, and like play one, record with the other, and like a DJ, and it was like horrible edits, you know, like static and everything, but that was acceptable. I mean, go on
You
YouTube.
definitely get that feel when you're watching your videos, but your videos getting really good. I think one of my favorite ones is the one about your car. That one's cool.
Oh, yeah.
But you have like a melancholy feel to it, right? Like,
well, because I'm like Eeyore. I'm
and
like,
that's why I wanted to ask you about, right? You say the dream was the clothing line.
You know, to be quite honest, like as far as a dream, you know, I don't think I've ever figured out what my dream is or like my purpose. So I've always done art, but I didn't think you could make a career out of it. And then I went and got a job in the car market, and I was designing things, magazine ads and boxes, packaging. And then after that, the car market tanked. I went and worked in clothing. And it's just what I did. It's what I knew how. But as, like, when I was in college and stuff, like, I was a fan of streetwear. And I guess my dream was to design my own streetwear brand. And I tried it, and it was so hard. But eventually, like, I was working for a clothing company that was selling stuff to, like, major retail outlets. And then I lost my job. And from that point, I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I just did what I knew how, and I started my own brand.
So more so, you would say the dream was being able to survive off of expressing yourself, right? Like make a living off of expressing yourself, whether that's through clothing, video,
Well, I mean,
your art.
like if you could understand how down in the dumps I was when I got laid off. My boss literally called me as I was gonna have my daughter I have a stepdaughter as well, but my first biological daughter, I was in the ultrasound, and I was looking at the screen. I got a phone call from New York. That's where I work, like remote. And they said, "Hey, we got to lay you off." And I'm looking at the screen of my kid, you know, and I was like, "What am I gonna do?"
Yeah.
And I felt like the biggest loser. Like, my wife was like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "No," you know.
In the back of your head.
And at the time, that's when like the economy was really bad. And I'm like, as a graphic designer, what am I gonna do? No offense to FedEx or anything like that. I was like, maybe I could work at FedEx office, making business cards or just anything I could think of. I applied for all these jobs. I would make it to the interviews, and then probably because I sound like you, or I never got the job.
Little did they know what they were missing out on, huh?
You would think, you know, but I just couldn't pull off, like, I couldn't pull it off. And
I think it was a hard time. What year was that?
Probably around 2007, maybe, or somewhere around there.
2007.
Does that sound right? I don't know. I'm so old.
2008 maybe, because
Yeah.
that's when the economy
Yeah.
blew up.
Yeah.
I got out of college in 2010, 2011, and it was still hard to get a job. Like, I had a college degree, and I was like, yeah, I graduated college. Like, let me go get a job. And then everybody was like, nope, like, you can't work here. I don't know. We don't have a place for you, you know?
Yeah.
So
you just think to yourself, like, man, what am I going to do? You know, I you know, with my wife, it's like I started this life, and I got this house, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, how are you gonna do that? So I started my brand. I mean, I wouldn't say that was my dream, but through the brand, I realized like I could talk to so many people. It's opened so many doors to meet people like you guys, and I think that's the dream. Like, I know that I don't think my purpose is clothing. I think it's the icebreaker to something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that through clothes, like, it's changed me. Having my shop has opened me up to like having conversations with people. I would have been way too nervous to even talk to you guys. Like, you know, I could have been a guy sitting at the coffee shop filling out my resumes, you know what I mean? And never spoken to any of you.
Anybody.
Yeah. And through that, I've gained so much by actually meeting people. I'm sure real estate too.
Yeah.
You've met so many people by just understanding it's the art of networking. And networking is kind of a stupid word, but it's really just about meeting people, getting to know them, connecting with people.
Yeah.
And just hearing their stories kind of blows my mind. And I think somehow like my purpose is to do that. So.
Well, we talked about it this last week a little bit. Is like, you know, nowadays with, you know, a computer in your hand, right, and instant gratification, you know, is everywhere. And you're cutting times, like, you don't have to go to the bank anymore. You're cutting all these connections through life. Like, people still need to connect, right? They still thrive off of relationships and talking to people, right? There's like a fact out there. If you don't have meaningful relationships in your life, you die 15 years younger, right, than if you did have meaningful relationships. So it's crazy that you say that, because, like, you know, we're all in this to connect with people and build relationships and keep it growing. I think when I was watching your videos this morning, the biggest question that comes to my mind, because from the outside looking in, you have a store, right? You have a really cool brand that I feel like you have a really awesome following, and, you know, people support you. I mean, we love it. Yeah, I can't get enough. I'll go buy some more shirts, you know? Mm-hmm. And you've been there for 8 years. Like, that's pretty established. I think the biggest question that comes to mind is, like, I feel like just through your videos, watching them, like, you're hard on yourself. So my question was, like, what is your gauge of success? Because to me, from the outside looking in, you're super successful. You've been doing it. You've been in the game. People know you. You get to have respect for you, you know?
Yeah, I've been having this conversation a lot lately. I started therapy, and I've come to realize, like, I'm super hard on myself. And when I get asked the question, like, what is success to you? I think, like I said, maybe it's like age-wise, but, you know, during my time, like, I guess I was like fed, you know, like the bling bling era.
Mhm.
So like success is like Big Papa, you know what I mean, or his friend.
But you
know?
say rolling
I don't
a
want to talk about
Ferrari,
friend, but you know what I mean, like, but you
rolling up in a Ferrari.
yeah, a
and
Ferrari
nice
or
house.
like
So it's a bank account. It's like a dollar amount.
I don't, you know, it was the art of making people feel bad.
Yeah.
Like the art of making people feel bad about their life. And when I was younger, like I started working before all my friends, and I used to love coming home with my paycheck, making them feel bad that they couldn't buy a burrito.
Just balling out
And I
on
could
it.
buy carne asada chips, you know what I mean? Like,
When they were $5.
yeah, and then, you know, I just, that's not who I want to be now. But I think I'm hard on myself because for some reason, you know, especially in the clothing, especially like streetwear and stuff, there's a coolness factor. And I don't feel like I've never gotten an invitation to the cool guy club. And I think,
Oh, you're here now, bro.
yeah, now I am. But you know, like in the streetwear world, I was never invited. And I don't even know if I wanted to go.
Yeah.
But
The red carpet rolled out. For
yeah,
you.
and just like you have this chip on your shoulder, and it's taking me a long time to like fill it in. But I guess I'm hard on myself, and a lot of times I'm actually not hard on myself. A lot of my videos, I'm trying to let I don't do a good job because I'm trying to let other people know, like, dude, it's okay to feel like that.
Yeah.
And it's
I think
okay
you
to
do
wanna
that. I
give
think
up.
it comes off like that.
Well, a lot of people only watch the first part, and they don't watch like the hero's journey. They're just
Uh-huh.
like, dude, this guy feels bad about himself, and like, I'm sorry, bro. Do you want a hug?
No.
You know, but
I think it definitely comes off as you know, motivational at the end, right? Or inspirational.
Yeah, I mean, in your clothes alone, man, like every single piece is, you know, for the most part unique, but there's a lot of cohesiveness in the message, you know, on the clothing. You know, seek balance. The golf one I had, everyone is welcome, even if you suck.
Yeah.
You know, pump your brakes, drive slow. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's, you know, there's a you know, cohesive message in all the clothing, and
It's a positive
it's
message.
a positive message.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. But you know, a lot of people, like when I post a video, they only watch half because people's attention span sucks. You know, and they're like, they just hear the bad part.
I think as a content creator or like trying to be a content creator, I really try to focus. Like when you put out something, I watch the whole thing because I know the effort and time and everything you put into it, right? I would hope that people watching this would do the same thing. Right?
So you're that one. That
yeah,
used to
that
do
one
that?
person.
Damn.
Yeah.
Building off your message, what was your inspiration behind like naming it Human Catalyst?
Well, when I named it Human Catalyst, to be quite honest, I didn't care like how long the name was. I just wanted, honestly, a stupid name that, like www dot, as long as you want to make it, and I didn't care. I always had this little thing I would say. It's like, it's not about the name, it's about what you make of it. And I made a list of names, like, and I just wanted it to be catchy. I had like, yesterday's tomorrow, I think it's, and that's like today, right? You know what I mean? And I was thinking, oh, that's so clever, right? And I just thought of all this stuff. And then I wrote Human Catalyst, and I was like, I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty tough. And let me check if there's a website. No one has it. Let me see Instagram. No one has it. It's like, oh, that's cool. So I ended up with that name. And then someone asked me, like, what does that mean? I was like, oh, crap, I don't know. Now let me figure out what it means. And it's kind of weird. I kind of feel like forces above planted that in my head, because I think Human Catalyst is really about, it's about people, it's about change, but it's about growth. I think it's about coming across people that change your life. Maybe they say something that just sparks something in you. Like, you know, I mean, as stupid and as corny as it is, maybe it's me telling you, like, oh, your video's real good, or like you're naturally good at it. And then you look in the mirror, you're like, maybe I'm naturally good at it. And then you start shooting videos tonight.
Yeah.
And then you never look back and see, like, you never feel insecure about putting yourself out there. I mean,
Inspiring.
yeah, inspiring, but also I know that, like, ordinary people have made such a big influence in my life, that have truly been catalysts for how I operate and how I think. And I just know, like, the human connection to people is just such a big deal. So that's really the focus. If you could imagine, like, to me, Human Catalyst is about people, it's about connecting, and it's about growth. And the clothing is just the merchandise for that. I mean, when I first did it,
sponsors it a little bit.
Yeah, when I first did it,
the lights on.
I thought it was all about clothes. And to tell you the truth, like, if I could survive, I'm more happy just delivering my message of just telling people not to give up and just try. Like, I posted this thing today. I have a friend, and he's been talking about starting this clothing brand for like years. Or what was it? Coast COVID. Coast COVID. He told me about starting this brand, and I was like, "You should do it," And then he's like, "Yeah," never does anything. Then finally, he like posted a video where he actually bought some stuff and started making it, and like, to me, that's what it's about. Like, it's the inspiration of seeing someone actually try to do something. Like, seeing you guys make a podcast. Like, who cares if 4 people show up? It's like, dude, you're trying, and you don't know. Like, one of those 4 people, you could change their life. And I want to be that. Not for the glory of it, but I just know what it feels like to be down in the dumps. And I think that's why I come out like Eeyore, and I'm hard on myself, because I get it. Like, I'm hard on myself, and I don't want to be. But if I could take all that weight and give it and stop someone else from feeling that way, then I'm all about that.
Dude, you're spitting gold right now. This is awesome. I love that that we're able to have you on here, and it's crazy because I would say, like, I have some success in the real estate world, right? And I could just focus on that and just be a lone agent, but that's not what success looked like to me, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I started Connect, because I want to help other people feel that way, and other people help families, and I want to spread it. I want to be bigger than just me, right? And like having Carlos and seeing him, succeed and actually close his first deal, and seeing Javi's growth, and like he's killing it now, you know what I mean? And like now I'm barely starting to feel a little bit of that success feeling. It's crazy that it's like, it's not only you, right? You want to spread it to other people.
Yeah.
Right? I totally vibe with you on that level, because like, if it was just me doing it by myself, I don't know if that's success to me. I feel like when you can touch more people's lives, you're actually leaving legacy, right? And that's something we talk about a lot in here, right? Also, we talk about our goals a lot, right? We're very goal oriented. Like the last 12 weeks, we're in a challenge, like losing weight together, working out together, getting deals together. Like, I think that's one thing that's super important in life is, figure out how you value success, because then you could, make a roadmap for yourself of where you're going, right? And if you don't have that roadmap, you don't have goals in place, you don't have things set up, then you're just kind of like floating, and you're not really getting anywhere fast. And I feel like the first part of my life, I would say, like, my 20s, I was floating for a long time. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have no set goals. I was just going to work and partying on the weekends and chasing girls, or whatever it was. And now that I have a more focused concept of what I'm trying to do, I feel way more happy. I feel way more like I'm trying, like I'm actually obtaining the goals that mean something, right? And I think that's the purpose in all of this, is like, we want to make sure that the time and effort that we put into it is meaningful, right? Because we're not here forever, right? And then we're forgotten 2 generations after us. So how do we leave our mark? I know I got a lot of that from the video that you posted about leaving videos for your kids, and being able to, for them, like, you're not cool right now, Dad, but when you're gone, like, they go back and watch it, right? And that's something that maybe that's why the podcast is cool or whatever, but this can last forever, right? And how do we leave a legacy, or how do we do something that doesn't just touch our lives but spreads out, and Human Catalyst is a great example of that.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, it means a lot. Yeah, I think, so April, my dad passed away. And to be quite honest, I don't know much about my dad. Um, when I was 14, my mom passed away. And I honestly don't know much about my mom. But if there was YouTube and there were videos where I could watch and it's like learn little lessons or just see mannerisms or something, I'd watch them all the time, So I hope, because I talk to my daughter now, pick her up from school. How was lunch? Like, whatever, Dad. Like, whatever. She doesn't care. And I know one day, like, she probably will. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they'll have flying cars and other things to worry about. But, I just think it would be cool if one day they sat down and they're like, oh, that was pretty cool what he did, And that's the hope. But, you were talking about floating, and it's crazy because I'm 47, and I feel like I've been floating majority of my life. I think because I was trained that, like, in order to make it, you need to, like, sell these things or have these materials to prove your worth to everyone else. But I think, like, how you find your purpose and, like, connecting with people and the relationships and leaving your legacy, like, touching lives, I think that's really my purpose. I just haven't figured out how to do that successfully yet. I think because honestly the clothes kind of weigh me down in a sense where
time, effort, energy.
That's me, I don't know. But I guess my thought is, like, my goal is to do that, and if I could find a way to just touch lives full time, I think finally then maybe I'll have my purpose, but it's not about me having a Lamborghini. It's not about me being Big Papa. I just I really find joy in, like, just picking people up when they feel down.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I think you gotta put out that message more. I know you're doing the videos on YouTube. Where else could people find you? You have Instagram.
I have Instagram at Human Catalyst. I have a TikTok, but that's the Wild West, and it's rough. It's rough on there. I don't know if I can handle TikTok because, like, I go on there to check my account and I end up following a murder mystery or a TV show I never wanted to watch.
And they doesn't even have the ending. You're like, what the hell?
Like, follow me for part 9, part 16, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's tomorrow.
It's yesterday's tomorrow.
TikTok really isn't my thing, but I've been trying to push YouTube because I feel like it's not really connected to my clothing, but more so, just making my videos for someone out there that feels bummed like I have, or feels like their thoughts aren't right, and
there's more long content where people can connect to more of the emotion.
Yeah, I think so. That's the goal,
That's awesome. I keep making the videos. I love them.
Oh, thank you.
Keep making the clothes. I know it's not. Like, talking now, it's not exactly what you want to be doing, but I think the clothes are awesome as well. However we could support, and I hope that we can build off of this and actually do a collaboration, something we talked about in the past. And we're always here for real estate needs,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully I don't have any for a while. I keep on getting phone calls, like, about my house if they want to sell. I keep on telling them, like, $5 million cash, and then they hang up on me.
Carlos probably called. Carlos probably called 3 times.
Yeah, it's probably you. It's like spam.
Like, hey, this is Carlos. Hey, what's up, Russ?
Yeah.
You should do that now. Every time we get one of those calls, like, oh, do you want to sell your house? Yeah, $5 million. Hey, what's up, Russ? How you doing? It's like, who's this? It's not Russ. This is John. Oh, my friend told me the same thing.
Yeah, I told the guy yesterday. I said $5 million cash, and then he goes, "Okay, let me talk to the banker or something, and then I'll get back to you." And I said, "It's $10 million now." Then he hung up on me. I
love it. That's awesome, man.
It's crazy. You guys got a tough line of work.
We
man.
do. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it goes through valleys, right? We're going through a deep valley right now where interest rates and just the whole economy is not fun, right? I don't know if you're seeing it. You see less sales because of people's pockets.
I think well, you see that in houses, right? Like, so for me, I just realized this thing the other day. I don't know. My wife's gonna say I told you this 1 billion times, but when you sell a T-shirt and you sell it for like $20, right? You got people. Your line of customers like $20 means a lot to them. But if you sell a stupid T-shirt for $80, you have some lady with big sunglasses and a purse, and she doesn't care. $80 is $80. Like, when she buys it, it means nothing to her. Mm-hmm. But for the person that is thinking about buying a T-shirt for $20, they have more at stake. Mm-hmm. So they're like, damn, that was my meal, that was my gas, things like that. Whereas like homes too, when you talk about people with like, $3 million homes, $4 million, and they're like, I'll drop it 300,000. It's like, what the hell, right? But 300,000 is someone's house in Idaho. It's just kind of crazy. So for me, I think I've always built my clothing based around the common man because I'm a common man, and I've kept my pricing structure for like blue collar people that work, and I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm not trying to sell them clothes where it breaks their bank or takes away food from their family. I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed that with the economy and the times, like, they just don't have that extra money like they used to.
Yeah, the extra spend.
And I'm cool with it for now, but I don't know how long, Yeah. But I'm feeling
Something has to pay the bills.
I'm feeling it. I see it on the street. I see it. I see people. I see less people. I see, less people doing amazing things. Like, it's harder for them, and hopefully things change.
Yeah.
Is there maybe any way you can separate the two? Kind of have one for, I guess, the higher class, I guess you can say. Maybe change the name or do something different with it?
Yeah, I've tried to do that too, but it's also like there's something inside me. It's really hard, like, to know how much something costs and just to inflate the prices to stupidity just because stupid customers want to pay that. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like a crook, It's hard. Like, when you buy a Louis Vuitton bag, sure, they use great materials or something, but, or Nikes, right? And you find out, like, if you were to go to Nike and you find out, it's like, these Jordans cost $1.86? 186 or no, $1.86? Like, what the, and like, you're going to charge $2.26? Like, how can you not feel a little bad, or how do you sleep at night doing that? Mm-hmm. And I don't feel comfortable with that, so I haven't figured out how to do that in my own mind, to be comfortable to pull something like that off. I've thought about it. I dream about it, like, $300 T-shirts, like, but damn, I don't know any T-shirt that would be worth $300, dude. Because when I eat spaghetti and like I have all the spaghetti sauce on me, like, it's the same thing as like, a $2 tee from Walmart.
Yeah.
Like, you still look dirty. Like, so it's crazy to me. But I don't know if I could find a way to like be comfortable with it and somehow find that connection. Maybe like, this will never happen, but maybe if I was able to employ, 50 people and change their lives through that because I sell these expensive shirts, maybe then I can do that. But
I think it goes to speak for the person you are, right? The authenticity of you, right? You can't be fake and just upcharge people for no reason, right? Like, you want to give them a good product, and not only a good product, but because the product is spreading your message, that it means something, that shirt doesn't cost $100.
Yeah, right? It's just hard because, like, as a businessman, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like you're a stupid businessman. Like your goal is not to make a lot of money, but I just don't know how to do it and do it proudly. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe we gotta do more quantity. And I mean, you sell out all your shirts, right? Or
yeah.
And they're only, I think, one run per design from what I've seen for the most part.
For the most part, but you know what? That's not by choice. That's by the people's choice, because, honestly, the way the world works now, everything is so fast.
Yeah.
So it's
Instant
like,
gratification.
I'll post something and it's new. Let's say I posted on Monday. It's the most awesome thing on Monday. Tuesday, a little less. By Wednesday, they found something else.
Yeah.
And
It's the same like houses, right? Like you have a sweet spot of where you could get an offer and accept an offer, and then if you last 2 weeks on the market, then you're just a house that's been on the market for 2 weeks.
yeah, they're like, what's wrong with
What's
it?
wrong
right?
with it?
Like
And
2
then-
weeks. Like,
Yeah.
like
And then-
because you didn't get an offer in the first 10 minutes,
Yeah.
then it becomes like, oh, nobody wants it.
Which is complete garbage because, you know, how do you, like, if you didn't see the house, you just see it's been on the market for 2 weeks, what gives you the right to go and offer, you know, 40,000 less, right? Just because it's no one else bought it, but it might be the exact perfect house that you wanted, you know?
Well, I think that's the hard part, you know, like in all of our businesses, you have to become the master of illusion. But the sad part is the consumer wants to be, what would be the correct word? Magicianized? Like they want to be like wowed by,
Oh, yeah.
they know you're doing magic and like nonsense, but they're still going to be like, wow. So it's like, I don't want to like call these people out, but I'll
No,
drive by this house, right? And it was getting flipped.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that is termite wood and whatever, like really bad. But then, you know, they cover it.
Some lipstick on the pig.
Yeah, but like beyond lipstick, like
Yeah.
you're talking hardcore, and it's like someone's gonna go buy that for 1.2 million, and it's like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How can you feel good about selling that? And you know, but you can shoot an awesome video with your iPhone, you know, using a gimbal and a drone, and then sell it. But it's like, dude, like you just messed up some family that is gonna go buy that, you know? And,
Yeah.
and that's a bummer because people know all of that, but they still want it. So
It's like people want to be catfish. We call
Yeah.
it house fish.
yeah, they want to be
They
house
wa-
fish.
They want to be house fish.
But what's crazy is like we have the power where we're at to be the masters of illusion. Like if I want to sell more t-shirts today, I can go get this beautiful woman to step out of a Ferrari and a man in a tuxedo, you know what I mean? And then gold chain shine, and then it's like you get a
Bling,
glimpse of my
bling.
logo, and it's like, man, that's the life I want, man. I'll probably get orders, but it's like
You
I just
feel
can't
less
do it.
guilty than upselling.
yeah, but it's just like it's just crazy that that's what people want. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they want to be sold
And it's like if that's what people want, like
to a point. I think.
I'll go, like let me go be a paper boy. They don't have paper boys anymore. Let me go, let me go find something to do. You know, like let me go find something because I want to feel. I want to. At the end of the day, I want my wife to be proud of me for what I do. I want to be proud of myself, but I want my kids to look at me as like, what dad does is pretty cool. Like, you know, that's neat. That's neat that he does that. And I wouldn't feel good about doing a lot of things that I'm capable of doing. You know, but I understand everyone's got to make a buck. But nowadays with social media and the internet, like so much of that is just questionable. And how do you feel good about it? You know, that's why your funny videos, there's a place for it and stuff, because like, I think that with all the garbage out there, like people want to laugh, and a lot of them are like relatable, funny. It's not like you're doing bozo stuff like a circus clown. Like a lot of them are real estate oriented.
We're gonna get him juggling lessons though.
Oh, that would be cool.
Let's just play.
Like juggling house keys. Like, you know? But yeah, all your guys' stuff, it's good and it's relatable and it's understandable to anyone that's in the market or other agents because they all feel the same things you feel.
Yeah. And expressing some of those feelings, it goes a long way. Like that expressing those feelings leaves you open for people to connect with you.
Yeah.
Like, being authentic.
I mean, my whole life, I thought I was the only one who felt how I felt. And then, you know, like, I'll put out videos. And again, if anyone watches any of my videos, like, they're going to say, like, dude, this guy's like Eeyore. Which is true. But I'll get people that come into my shop, and they're like, dude, I saw your video, and, like, you know, it really moved me. And they could be someone that is a mechanic or someone that does, like, electrical engineering or someone that does running Cox Cable. You know what I mean? But something about what I said gave them hope to keep on going, doing what they're doing. And
or
to
inspire them to go after their dreams.
Or inspire them to try something that they didn't think they could. And
or just get a really cool T-shirt.
Yeah. At least do that, you know. But I always tell people, like, anyone could just come in, they can just talk, whatever. They don't have to buy anything. Of course, like, if no one ever bought anything, then yeah, you're gonna feel that. But you know, for the most part, I think at the end of the day, that's why I've kept the shop. Like, retail has been garbage since post-COVID, like, for sure. Retail is just dumb, but I've met a lot of amazing people, and I'm going to try to keep my doors open to house those people for as long as I can. You know, it's just based on the conversations, because that's why it comes full circle. Like, I think that's why I get along with you guys, because it is about human connection. It is about the connection of the city and just the people you come in contact with, and, you know.
Yeah, and I can speak to that. I mean, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I remember, you know, just coming in kind of on a whim and meeting Russ for the first time, but we picked up a conversation like we'd known each other for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, next thing I know, it's an hour later, I pick up a couple shirts and, you know, see you next week kind of thing.
Yeah, I always tell people they come in for a T-shirt and leave with a parking ticket. You know, like they come in thinking it's going to be like 10 minutes, and then they're like,
Yeah.
like, damn, my wife has been waiting for me since 3 o'clock. My kid's in the car.
But I think that's a special skill you have, right? You're inviting, and you're easy to talk to, and you're authentic, right? People like that. And Javi has the same skill. Like, I've known Javi 2 years, and I feel like I've known him my whole life, right? Like you said, and you know, when people like that have that characteristic, it makes everything easier, right? Like, when you're able to portray yourself on video, it makes it easier to connect and have those relationships, right? It just goes, you know, speaking to your character, you know, the person you are, that people want to come in and talk, and then you're able to hopefully inspire them to keep pursuing their dreams, right? And I think that's awesome, right? Like, that's what we're all here for, like, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of connection.
No, you guys too. You guys too. I really appreciate everything you guys do for the city. I appreciate you guys coming through and the conversations, and even the videos. Like, I watch them all, and I just think it's cool to see what you guys are doing. I've seen the growth. I've seen the comfort change. You know, I've told Javi, like, his editing, the videos. It's just crazy because nowadays you got to do so much. Like, real estate has become, to be a realtor, real estate is 20% of it now.
Yeah.
You know, like, now you got to do all this other crazy stuff, but it's just part of the game. I mean, anyone that's listening, if they're barbers or car salesmen, I mean, they're dealing with the same thing, and it's crazy.
Yeah, you have to be more than your trade. You have to know the behind the scenes, the camera, the social medias, all of that stuff. And we're all doing it together, right? Like, we're trying to learn it and figure it out.
Yeah, everyone. Like, I'm telling you, I'm sure the people that made the most money are the people that sold damn ring lights and, like, you know,
Selfie sticks.
Selfie sticks.
I think we have 3 of them in here, right?
Yeah, like
the stands.
You know, like, how many people?
Those Chinese.
Yeah, if you could ask, like, how much stuff has Amazon sold?
All of it.
For people to create content.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in
you
general,
just have no choice.
It's all for show, right?
Yeah.
I think we could go on for hours and hours. I love this conversation, and I appreciate you being here.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'm a yapper. I'm a professional yapper.
No, your first guest, and we would be happy to have you back. I think our goal with this is, you know, spread our message, right? Be authentic. People can watch it and connect with us if they want to, and know that we're here to help you buy and sell homes, obviously. But we give updates on the market, updates on our goals, and we'd love to have you back.
No, I would love to be back, you know. So, and now, if there's 4 people listening, now you got 5.
Oh yeah.
I'm in there.
Awesome.
Let's go.
I'm in
That's
there.
right.
You gotta go to the shop this weekend and check it out. You're open primarily Saturdays.
Only on Saturdays.
Saturdays.
My life is just like it just doesn't work out. Retail. I thought it was gonna be a lot easier to have a retail shop, and you realize like it's hard. If you want to have a family, and your family's not really down with staying there all day, then retail is probably just not for you. But if you hate your family, it's an awesome place. You know.
So open Saturdays.
Open Saturdays
9.
from 10 to 4.
10 to 4 on
Yeah.
3rd Avenue.
3rd
You guys
Avenue.
want to go pick up a shirt,
Yeah.
sweatshirt. It's getting cold out there. Sweater weather's coming.
Yeah, but don't come yet because I don't have any sweaters.
It's gonna drop the sweaters soon.
Yeah, but soon.
Yeah. We
So-
appreciate you, Russ. Thanks
No,
for
I
coming
appreciate
on.
it. Thanks, you guys.
And I think
Thank
it's
you.
a successful
No, thank you.
successful episode.
Yeah.
Call it. Until next week.
Stay connected.
Stay connected.